Okay, so we are starting webinar, BIM models and shop tickets for Precast Concrete in Revit. My name is Valentas Balisevičius. I was structural engineer and now I work as BIM application engineer. So I work with Precast Concrete solution. So in AGACAD, we create solutions based on our clients' needs on the most advanced BIM users. So, and we try to put all the experience into our tools, and yeah, so we try to eliminate all unnecessary things you need to do. So just to reduce the stress when you are switching to BIM modeling. And these are our tools, what we create. So it's not only precast concrete, right? We have wide range of solutions. Wood framing, metal framing, we have tools for MEP engineers to cut automatically openings, place hangers, and so on. But today we'll talk about precast concrete, so you'll see that one. How does it work? We are industry partners with Autodesk for precast concrete, so we have their trust. I hope you will do too. What we'll cover in this webinar, we'll go through modeling of precast concrete connections, reinforcement on different elements, and also renumber elements and create shop drawings. Okay, and then we'll review some updates. So wall reinforcement was released, smart walls and smart assemblies will be released next week, but we'll take a look at them even today. All right, and this is it. We switch now to Revit. Let's go here. So we have Revit sample model. Let me turn on our tools for BIM doc. This is tools for BIM doc with our solution, and all of our tools are available here. If you download tools for BIM doc from our webpage, you can install and manage licenses of any tools, or you can get 2 weeks trial. Okay. Today I will talk about this one, Precast Concrete. So you'll see that inside Precast Concrete, I have beam reinforcement, column reinforcement tools, floor panel layout, floor plus C, smart assemblies, smart connections, smart walls, so different kind of tools, right? I will go through them and you will see. Also, all of the tools, they have documentation. So if you click on read documentation, it will open a web page with documentation for Precast Concrete. And you have just written documentation as well as sample projects. So you can download sample projects and it will help you to start to use the tools, because there are plenty of tools and then quite different kind of stuff you need to learn. So these projects really helps you start. Okay, so I guess this is it. We can start using them. Okay, so one more thing. All of the tools you can find all the commands here. Like you can use it from here, or you can click on this icon and you will be able to drag them like this, like having the floating menu, and you can use it. So that's what I will do. I will start using smart walls. First of all, that's a tool to split Revit walls into separate panels. So it has this kind of split wall menu. And in this split wall menu, you have different kind of commands how to split your walls. For example, in Revit, I have already a wall, which is very long, right? But I want to split that into separate wall panels. So first of all, one of the new features I want to show you is that we have now split by number, split by boundary, and horizontal splits. So this wall profile of a wall was edited. I have some steps here, and I can simply split by using them. So this new command could be used here. For example, just split by boundary. So now I have this kind of panels, right? And then you continue to split them with other commands, right? So for example, I'll split this one as well. So again, I had modified boundary. Now I can do it like this, right? Then, for example, I don't know, you can continue, let's say, select this one and split from start, right? So just start working with other commands as well. So you have 2.5 meter, 2.5 meters. So we have some settings here. We have settings how to split around openings, what should be panel size, and so on. So yeah, you can do that. For example, this one, split in the center between openings, so it will split in each center between those windows and so on. Another one is like split by number. So it means divide into some defined number of elements, for example, 5. So I want to have 5 panels here. So that's what I have now. 5 panels of equal size, all of them, right? So that's another command. So again, just to save a couple of minutes of unnecessary work. So we will have a couple of additional commands, right? So this one, right? So we can use also grid lines. For example, I select grids, split by selected grids, select the walls which I want to split, escape on the keyboard, and I have split in exact position, right? So again, could be another option. Now we have split horizontally by levels and by reference plane. So I will choose these walls. Okay, they are joined. Still, I have joined walls. So what I will do, I will disallow joints. And also I want to change the way they are joined. So I will shorten pick wall end. So this one will be shorter now, and this one will be shorter now. So that's okay. Now I'll go to level 1, and let's go to this section. So I could see my walls in here. So you see I have levels here and also reference planes. Reference planes, they are named like this, right? And I can use them to split my walls. So let me just select these walls in the 3D view. Maybe I'll get back here and I will show you split by levels. So what it will do, let's say I select a couple of levels, click on OK, and split, right? So I have wall here, another wall here, and so on. And the gap distance, it comes from settings. So I have here app configuration settings. So for vertical gaps, I have these settings, and then horizontal gap distance. Now in a new version, you'll have horizontal gap distance. So you can split them like this, right? So all of these walls now are split, and also constraints to levels are also updated. So that's good, but another option is to split by reference planes, right? So I use another command, split by reference planes, and then I see named reference planes. So I pick these, click on OK, and then it was split here at these reference planes. So it's still under testing, but I hope next week we will have final version and it will be released. So we will release also blog post about it, and just stay tuned. Follow us on YouTube, on our newsletters, and you will see. All right, so I have a couple of things here. So I think, yeah, that's it about smart walls, what I wanted to show you. We can hide this tool back to ribbon. And next thing what I want to show you is Smart Connections tool. Okay, I think. Okay, there is a question if you can split by weight. So there is no option to split by weight, but I guess, yeah, when you have a wall, approximately, you know, what's the size and what should be the other restrictions. So I don't know if it's really useful, but I think I had this question before. So if there will be more requests like this, we'll definitely create that. Okay, so Smart Connections, another tool to create connections for different kind of elements. So it has configuration. Let me show you real quick where you pick the category which you want to work with. If you want to place connections for columns, you pick a column category. If you want to work with walls, you pick wall category, right? And then you have here tabs to insert line-based or point-based elements on the side faces, on end faces, on top faces, and then you select what family do you want to place. Maybe you want to select it from this family browser, so you pick the family which you want to place. These are face-based families which you can create on your own or download from manufacturers' website if they have library for Revit. And then you tell where to place it, what should be the rules, how it should be placed. There are some kind of auto correction options to find different joints or different conditions. And then you save your configuration and you can apply that on your elements, right? Okay, hold on. I wanted to do one more thing here. So it will be a little bit more interesting if I will split these guys as well. So I'm just gonna split these in half. So should be running through these selected walls, and now I have more walls. So it will be just more interesting to use smart connections on these guys. So I'm just gonna select a couple of walls, and we'll say insert elements, select configuration, which I want to use, and click on insert. So it will run through all of these walls. It will find all the conditions it should, and then I'll get that element, these elements placed. So for example, these were placed at the bottom, these were on the top. I have then connection plate at the corner, this kind of connection plate, right, with some angle over here for the welding, and then I have this kind of connection for the floors, and then over here I have different kind of plates for the wall ends. If I will click on this element and open configuration for it, you will see it was placed on the right side of my wall, just at the end connection between the walls. So I have this kind of settings, and it can automatically find it and place it, right? So again, these are families which you can really simply, I don't know, move it if necessary later on, or copy and add additional one, right? So because this is, as I said, face-based family where you can just draw what kind of solid do you want to see in that family. It could be any shape. It could cut your elements and so on. So that's just the element you will use, but the tool will help you to distribute them. All right, so I have created a couple of elements. Now for this wall, I want to place something as well. So insert like this. So it will run through it again, place something, right? But as you see, this element is like point-based, it's inserted here. So it's still not in a good position, but you can always, like, for most of the wall, it goes fine, right? It fits to the perfect position, but for other walls, you can just simply modify it, for example, by changing some values, right? So I just modified this one, and maybe I want to have another one over here, right? So I will use it here and then just adjust it slightly to fit this wall geometry, right? So it's not a problem to do that. Real quick update. Okay, so you can insert a couple of configurations actually on one element. So what I will do, I will say insert and select another one and insert. And so it's quite useful to have some of the elements in other configuration. For example, so I placed here now additional elements for bracing and then maybe lifting elements, right? But anytime you can select elements and change something. For example, this was placed based on gravity point of a wall. But now what I will do, I will say I want to have 4 of these and with different distance. For example, because I have opening here, it's in a wrong position. So maybe we can just slightly modify this one. Let's see if it will be better. Right, so you can insert them like this or modify adjust position manually as well, right? Depends on how complex your walls are, but now you can make individual changes for any element. And as I said, this depends on what kind of families do you use. So I'm just gonna insert elements here and I will use another configuration just to show you, let's say you have different kind of connections between elements, because in some countries you use plates, in some countries you use loops or so prefabricated loops or just, I don't know, some bended rebars or whatever. So let's just run through these elements. And yeah, here's what I get when I use different families, right? So I have these loops here created like that, just distributed at the intersection with walls. Automatically, when I placed this kind of cutout for my walls to get good shape, right? I have used different grout tube family than previously and so on. So, and it, you can download a sample project of smart connections and you will find different examples there. For example, you'll find wall, column, right? So let me just select a couple of columns, right, and set elements. So what you can do in that sample project, you can select any detail, click on modify, and you will see all the settings, how it was inserted. You can save that configuration to your computer, so it helps you to get started, right? A couple of beams, let's do that as well. Okay, and I'm just gonna auto insert. So auto insert, it means that I can add name of configuration, which should be used for your elements into the properties, and then it will know what to do later on, right? So I placed just some avoid families, some lifting families, and so on. Okay, so that's enough about smart connections, I guess. We need a couple of floors here. So what I will do here is that I have big floor created here over on the second floor, and I'm gonna cut it out, isolate this a little bit, so it will be a little bit clear, more clear to see. Let's go to floor panel layout tool, which I want to show you. For support, it has this kind of functionality to assign supports where the slabs should be created. So what I want to do now, I want to create a couple of different slab layouts for this big floor. So what I will do, I will say add supports for this floor, and then if I pick beam or wall or grid line, it will remember these supports. And also it's like adding split lines. If I'll isolate this one, you'll see split lines added here. So it means that I want to create slabs between these split lines, actually on the supports actually. So, and you see that now the tool remembers these supports. So we will use it. We go to panel layout planning. So now we want to plan the layout. So for that, I will go to the settings and see that this is the size of my panel. And then I can create this layout in any region. You see that it's highlighting regions. So if I'll click on this region, direction of slabs depends where do I click with my mouse. So it could be that way, it could be that way, but of course I want to be this in that way. And then I want to, I can do that for whole floors, but actually I think it's pretty good when I do it that way. Then I can modify and say that the size should be like, for example, this one, 2.4, or for this one, let's pick from both ends direction of split, and then 2.5 meter maybe, right? Not maybe, I just want to create different slabs here actually. So that's why I split that in different sizes. Yeah, let's join regions over here. For example, I can do it like this, right? And then split from first selected, so from here to here. So it means now 1.2 meter, 1.2 meter, and then the narrow part over here. So I just moved that from the edge a little bit outside into the middle part. So it's just now creating lines, and then I will use them to create my actual floors. So for that, I will go to create panels, panel settings, and here I have settings, what should be my slab. So I can pick the floor size, and then software comes with holes for the hollow core slabs. So you can choose from available families, or you can create your own families to get your shape of the floor. Right, then on the top we have here support on the walls, on the framing, on the grid, or if we didn't select any support. So this will be used to adjust the size of my slabs. Okay, so because I selected beams, so these values are important for me. All right, so let's do it and create panels for floor face. Yeah, that's what I want to do now. So it will create floors on this region. It will create floors. This is the floor. You see system family from Revit. Just I modified the size of it. And then I have this family which is cutting the floor to get the shape of hollow core slab. This is simple, oops. This is simple sweep, and it has profile assigned. So this profile could be anything, and it will cut your slab in different sizes. So what I will do, maybe I'll just go to actually section, and I will show you how does it look now. So this is reference floor, which I used to create one, and this is the actual one which was created. So now it has like 100 millimeter support, right? So it was created like that. I can have also offsets up and down, but in this case, I don't need that. So this is pretty good. Now this one, actually it doesn't have holes because this is not standard size. And for not standard size, you might want to have different holes. What I will do, I will say insert holes, and just for this one, I will add additional holes. So the shape of my slab will be like this, but again, depends what do you use, right? And I will show you a couple of other examples. So I hope you will understand what's the idea here. So I'll choose different hole, which I created for my project. And then I do that for this area. I want to use different sizes of the floor and different holes. So what I get here is that I get this kind of slabs, right? In this case. And then even I can go even further, right? I can say this should be special slab cutout to get special shape of my slabs. And let's do it like that for these guys, right? So what I have here now is this kind of shape. So I have some cut out at the edges, and I also have some voids inside. So this depends on the family you use, right? So it could be quite anything you need. All right. That's the floors, what I wanted to show. Then if you need some cutouts or some lifting elements, so you can place them with smart connections, place them based on gravity point, place them by distance, and so on. Right, so let's just remove section box so we could see our project again. All right, so next thing would be reinforcement. So we have column reinforcement, wall reinforcement, and beam reinforcement. Let me show you a little bit about it. Wall reinforcement has rebar configurations where you can define how your elements should be created. So now you have some common settings. You have settings for the mesh, what should be the size of rebar, what should be spacing, what should be distance from the start or end of the wall. And the new thing, you see this blue equal option. So now it will try to automatically adjust position. It will not try, but it will just adjust position of vertical bars so that distance from wall edges will be equal, and it will be somewhere between this one and between this one. So it will find that distance and divide wall, and you will have a really nice layout of rebar. And also we have new thing that some clients requested hook at the start and the end, so we added here. The same for horizontal bars when we have covers, if you didn't know this tool. So an internal reinforcement, opening reinforcement, actually opening reinforcement like U-shaped bars also got these equal option. So I think it's much better, much easier in most cases to make layout. And then most important probably update was this one, that you can create a straight or L-shape or U-shape bars of a selected size. Depends how many of these do you want to select in one wall layer. Then from which on which side of the wall. So it should be vertical, horizontal faces of the wall, or from the left, from the top, or from both sides. And then you can search distance, right? So depends where is your cutouts and so on. The element will be created in that way. And then you have anchorage length, and of course you have some distance from the selected edge, from the top in this case, right? And then covers as well. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this feature actually now. So I select these walls and I will create rebar. I have two different configurations actually for these walls, even if they look the same. But that's what I want to show. This is the new feature that you see these bars, U-shaped bars, they've been created here. The software will analyze the shape of the wall, right? That's why it's following, even if I have this kind of cutouts, shape edit of the wall, it still follows and places the rebars. And this searching distance, what I mentioned is that, for example, this one is not placed at the same position. It's searching. It starts searching from 50 millimeters for this kind of horizontal cuts. So if I will modify, for example, this one and make it bigger and run update, and you see it's not created anymore because I have limitation for that rebar that it should not be inserted if the cut is bigger than that. So this kind of stuff you can use. All right, maybe I'm just gonna do that. And of course, it could be combined with all the other reinforcements. So you see these U-shaped bars now equally this equal distance from bottom and the top of the wall. Just one rebar set fits nice. Then we have additional rebars around the wall and so on. So at least this was my configuration for these walls. So let's actually do that for these walls as well. Okay, so let's create rebar for these guys. So it will analyze again geometry and create a similar reinforcement like for these two walls. Okay, for one wall because I added mesh as well for these guys. So okay, let's wait a little bit. Good, so now I have it. So I have here these bars, I have them on the top as well. Then I have these vertical bars, which goes along the perimeter as well, along vertical edges of my perimeter. And the same for these guys, I guess. Yeah, but for those who don't know, or yeah, maybe another example, this wall, why I want to show you, maybe just to pay attention. Come on, where is it? Over here, for example. So now I can say that this bar should be a little bit with different edge offset, and this one should be a little bit closer to the bottom of the wall, right? So I have two additional bars, but they could be controlled separately, and the ends also could be controlled separately. So this is quite important, I guess, for our current users, because this all of these were requested by them. Now this one, what I want to show about this one, this is sandwich wall, so it has 3 layers. So actually, how does it work? This tool that I can select my wall. You see, this is the sandwich wall, and then I can say that for this layer of the wall, I want to use one configuration. For this layer of the wall, I want to use other configuration. And then I do that, I can create reinforcement, and it will apply that to my wall. Right, so now if we'll take a look, I have 3 layers of reinforcement, right? One is on the outer layer of the wall, and another one is here. Another thing is that if I'll create parts, for example, from this one, yeah, so actually it's even better. You can see that. But I will also do like this. I'm gonna move it a little bit like this and a little bit like this, and then I will run update of reinforcement. So of course, all of our tools, we have update, modify options or delete options, right? So you'll see that this inner part now is following that part, which was inner reinforcement is following the part here. This is insulation, so it doesn't matter. But over here, it was just updated based on the latest geometry changes. So I have some U-shaped bars along perimeter. I have some diagonal bars as well, and so on. But that's the way you can use it. Okay, so for more in more details, like how to use it, actually there are help files, and there is webinar only about this tool, so you can watch it if you're still missing some information, or you can contact us and we can talk about it. Okay, I'm gonna undo that. I want to see original walls instead of parts, so I'm gonna undo that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna show you just maybe examples of okay, so I'm gonna select and show you just a couple of column reinforcements. So again, it looks like this. You can define it works with rectangular columns, right? You can define covers, you can define main reinforcement as many as you want. Then stirrups, they can tie about selected main bar, and the shape of rebars of stirrups could be like this. And then also you can define settings for corbels. So it will automatically find position of corbel and then will apply configuration settings. So that's what I wanted to show. And so corbels, they must be face-based families. They must be hosted on the column. And it could be rectangular. It could be with a sloped bottom. And then the tool will recognize it. So let me just create rebar for this. And you'll see that now I have this kind of reinforcement over here. It depends what did I define in my settings. If I will have another one, for example, let's create this one and run the update. So this tool was released also like a month ago. So you could see a webinar about it. Also, you can download a sample project and sample configurations. So maybe you'll need just to adjust some configurations, right? You can also select these corbels and use it. Just modify them, delete the bolt if you don't need it. I don't know, add something else to them, and then you can use it. Or just simply create your own phase-based solid, which would be corbel size, right? So that's one, the column, and for the beams we have also the reinforcement tool, which let me make quick introduction. We have also reinforcement configuration, and beam tool is working with three profiles: is rectangular, L shape, and IT shape. So it means if your beam is H shape, or maybe if it's T shape or double T shape, it's not gonna work with it. You just you need to request new functionality, and if more users will need that, we will add this to a rebar. So what we have here are different kind of settings, right? How main rebar should be distributed, what kind of stirrups should be created. So different kind of settings here. Also, sample project is available, and so you see what do I have here now? I have some settings, some offsets from the ends. This one is not really cool. It's crossing my void. So maybe I changed it in a latest version. Okay, it doesn't matter, but that's the way it is. So yeah, you can adjust these distances to fit into your elements and so on. Now, next thing, probably, okay, maybe we can actually, we can link configuration for the beam, right? So again, we have different beam types. We can assign different configurations and then create reinforcement. So if I'll do that, some rebars are outside, but that's just because my settings are like that, right? So in this case, I have some extended stirrups. I have some rebars outside the beam. I have some few rows of main reinforcement here. So different sections and so on. And also different layout for stirrups, right? It's quite dense at the support and so on. So I think this is pretty cool for reinforcement as well. Next thing, what I want to show you is this documentation part. Let me see if we don't have any questions. It seems like not. So really clear, right? All right. Anyway, what I want to do now is that I want to renumber these elements, right? So, for example, if I'll go to level 1, and I will try to select the walls, filter walls, annotate, tag all, and walls, and okay. So now I have question marks because they don't have mark value. If I'll select wall, mark value is empty. So I want to change that. For that, I will go to 3D view. I will select walls, check walls, okay. And I want to renumber these elements. So I'll go to sort mark, renumber elements, and I will choose element numbering, and I choose where do I want to place information. So it could be mark, right? And then I choose it, and I have this kind of configuration window where I can define how do I want to renumber them. So I want to number them by grouping them by level. So it will start renumbering them from 1 for each level, right? So this kind of settings. When filtering, I don't use it here, but for numbering, I add different kind of parameters. So if any of these parameters is different, Then the name, the number of the wall will be different. Then how to sort them, just start numbering based on the eager Y and X coordinates in the project, and then go up by Z coordinate. And then in the sort mark, I select that I can select any parameter could be included in this configuration of information which I want to add to mark. Okay, so actually I can add any parameters here. So it's really flexible renumbering system. Instance level, so this will add prefix L and then the number from level. So it will be L1 for level 1, L2 for level 2, and then I will have suffix, and then I have a prefix, and then start numbering by 1. So I think we can just move on and click on OK. So that's what I get. Some of them has same mark values. So the wall marks, right, they will be like this. But when we'll create assemblies, of course, it might get different because this is wall mark, and then we will create assemblies. So they will have also assembly types. So we might get for assemblies might be different names, but these mark values will be used to create assemblies, and they will try to follow these mark values. So you see L1, L1 is level 1, and then solid wall 1, solid wall 2, solid wall 3, and then 4 and 5. And if I'll go to level 2, I can do the same. I wonder if that's a good elevation in this view, but let's try that. Annotate, tag all, wall tags, without ladder, click on OK. Yeah, that's correct. So it's giving me the it's showing me the level 2 walls actually here. So I have again L2 now, and then it starts to renumber from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I can use other options, but that's the idea of this tool. It could be used for any elements. I don't know, columns, beams, and so on. For example, I can select even reference planes and give element numbering, and I can write information into name parameter, and then I can say that, well, prefix should be split ref or something like that, and then click on OK. And now they've been renumbered. Again, I have this one like 1, 2, 3. So it could be used for columns, beams, and I don't know, whatever you have in your model, connections, and so on. All right. Let's see. Someone has. Okay, so somebody had a question that what about reinforcement for slabs? So for slabs, we don't have a tool. We have these 3 tools, which I mentioned, right? Column, wall, and beam. So I don't know, actually, for slabs, probably should be like solid slabs, right? But currently, in a few upcoming months, we'll be working on walls. I think 2 or 3 months. We want to add some more features for walls, because walls are maybe more complex and more has a lot of work to do on walls. All right, so okay, next thing, when I have the mark values for my elements, what I want to do is I want to create assemblies. So for that, I will use Smart Assemblies. But again, this tool is under development, so I will use it from here. Okay, I'm gonna rotate my view, and I will show you that this tool also has shop drawing configuration. In shop drawing configuration, I have different kind of settings. What do I want to create? I want to have 3D view, I want to have plan detail, I want to have front views, and I want to have legend. So this kind of stuff, you can add as many views as you want. Just choose the direction, choose view type, rotate it on the sheet if necessary, give it a new name, right? Apply view template, so visibility settings, right? And then dimension rules. Dimension rules is defined here. And the tool has dimension rules, how to dimension openings, how to dimension details. It has this smart dimensions, which is a really cool tool to dimension anything in the view. So you have wall, beams, details, windows, conduits, levels, whatever, line-based elements, point-based elements. So you can define different kind of rules, how to dimension everything. Well, reinforcement also, dimensions, notes, what should be shown, where should be shown. So you define this kind of stuff. Different kind of additional settings available. Then schedules, you can also apply what kind of schedules should be created, and then also sheets, right? So sheet, so you pick the number of sheets that should be created, then title block, and then sheet template. So currently I cannot select anything for sheet template, but when I will create first assembly, I will be able to select it. And let me just show you a little bit about it. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna actually change something here. I've been testing a couple of things here, but I don't need these actually anymore. So I'm just gonna save it. So what I will do, I'll select first this one. So it has mark value, and then I create assembly, pick the configuration which I want to use, click on create. So it will now add all hosted elements into assembly. It will calculate gravity point and so on. The question is, can I use sort mark tool to numbering architectural rooms? Yes, actually you can use it. And sort mark is actually could be not only in precast concrete. We have it also available. Like if you'll take a look to our products, you'll find this tools for T4R add-ons. So there are like small tools. This kind of sort mark also is available in this bunch of tools. So you can also check it out. I'm not sure if you do precast, if you are renumbering architectural rooms, right? All right, so this is the assembly created. So you'll see I have element assembly mass. So it calculated this based on the materials and the solids, which is available in my assembly. So we'll see I have these plates has nested families like this one. But if I add special parameter like build in place, so this plate will not be added to assembly. Okay, so I will not have it in my drawing. This is gravity point also inserted. But let's take a look to the drawings. Actually now this is one of the new features that open assembly sheet view. So it will open the sheet of selected assembly. Because sometimes if you have like 200 assemblies, it's quite hard to track them where they are, right? Which one you are looking at. So you can just quickly jump into the sheet. The sheet is not maybe the thing I need currently, but anyway, I already in that area, so I can really quickly find that assembly much quicker than it was previously. Okay, so but let's take a look to the views. What did I get? So this is the one of the views. I selected settings. So you will see that now one of the new features added, which will be released next week, I hope. This one, a diagonal element for the front view, going from the left bottom to the top right. And another thing is that when you create a view, and let's say in this view I am showing gravity point, so I can get by standard settings, I can get dimensions for gravity point, but as well, additionally now the tool is adding, if I added these two parameters to gravity point family, so it's also adding these values into my gravity point family. So what I can do with it, maybe I'm just gonna create, yeah, actually just a new schedule, and I will show you like yeah, you can just have it in the schedule, these values, right? So you can just then place it on the sheet if needed by your standards. Okay, let's go back to that view. So what kind of settings do I have here? So I have dimensions for the grout tubes at the bottom. I have this kind of dimension style, right? Just ordinary dimension style from Revit. Then you will notice that I have some prefix FF and NF, so near face and far face. So I can measure, the tool can tell that this detail is on the back face of the wall and this one is on the front face of the wall. So we'll see that this one is near face. So however you call it in your country, it could be front face, it could be near face, it could be top in formwork or whatever in the prefix do you want to use, you can use that, but the tool can recognize which one is on the front, which one is on the back. Right, so I have plenty of dimensions here. Now this one is just lifters, so they are on the side, so I said that I don't want to have any prefix for these, and so on. And now if we'll let me show you smart dimensions. How did I get so many dimensions with different styles, different nodes, and so on? So this is available because of one of the new features. Let me open Smart Dimensions configuration. Now structural framing and point-based families, they had like 3 tabs previously to get different kind of styles for dimensions. But currently, you will see that we have just 1 tab for point-based details, but here I have 8 of them and I can add more. So in each of these, I can define different rules how elements should be dimensioned. So here in each of them, I have defined different settings. So for example, here I said that these rules dimension only elements if type mark is contains recess. So if element has this kind of filtering, then it will measure reference planes of that family. You can choose to measure solids, you can choose to measure location points, but actually that family is just a void. So I have reference planes inside the family and I can snap with my dimension to it, and I can place this dimension on top, and also I say that if it's on the back face, then it should have a far face prefix, and then give me a note with type comments parameter information. And on the top, I want to have vertical and horizontal dimensions, and so on. So I can apply different kind of settings, filterings, different dimension style. For example, for the grout tubes, I want to use different dimension style, and so on. So it's really flexible, and you can get, I would say, pretty any result. If you create your families in some, you need to think a little bit about the families, what do you want to snap with dimensions, and so on, how do you want to create them, but basically it should be working in most of the cases. So what I will do, I'll go to first sheet. I'm gonna put this view over here. Maybe I'm just gonna drag this one a little bit like this. Then I will say I want to have this schedule over here, and then another one over here. So again, automatically created with some view templates applied, right? So let me just move these into the position where I want to see them. So this is first view, and then next sheet, I will say I want to see this view. This is a reinforcement view with some reinforcement dimensions. Then, I don't know, this one could be modified slightly, and then I will drag section A. I'm gonna change the name for it. So this is gonna be like this. This is gonna be the section, right? Okay, so what else? I think that's good. That's what you can get with Smart Assemblies at the moment. Of course, you can use Revit and do different kind of styles, right? For example, we can edit the visibility of reinforcement. I don't know, just change it to be a little bit less crowded, or how to say, and then just use some Revit commands like create something like this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna add a couple of dimensions here. This one should be a little bit different, right? I wanna have it here. All right, and then you can drop it on your sheet. But I don't know, depends on your style. Reinforcement, the detailing is quite, yeah, it will take a little bit of your time. Depends on your standard. For example, if you want to get this one, it's gonna be really fine. Okay, so I have created sheets. Now I'll go to shop drawing configuration. I will go to sheet, and then now you see that I can assign sheet templates. So what does it mean is that it will create, it will place views on the sheet. So if I'll select, let's say, 2 walls now, and I will say create assemblies, wall create, what it will do, it will create 2 assemblies, and it will additionally not only create views and dimensions, but it will also place them on the sheet. So let's wait for it. All right, so both of these are finished. Now we can find it in our project browser, and we can go straight to the sheet, and you'll see the results. So we have schedules in the place, we have view in this place, we have this reinforcement drawing, and then this one over here. So and the same for that one, right? Views are placed on the sheet already, and then it has these dimensions. So it's pretty good and effective way to create drawings. I think it's really really quick way to complete them. Okay, so anyway, we'll test these new features a little bit more, and then next week probably we'll release an update. We'll give a blog post. All of the blog posts also available here. For example, wall reinforcement features are described already in a new blog post because this one was released 2 days ago. This is our email, our webpage. You can always contact us, and thank you for attending this webinar. Have a good day. Bye.
AGACAD, building BIM together.